I am super excited. Today I get to unbox the Apollo Go, and then we're gonna do a full review. Now, I've been anticipating the Apollo Go's arrival. I actually saw one in the wild recently and stopped the person. I was like, oh my gosh, is that Apollo Go? And she's like, yes, how do you love it? And she loved it. Her and her husband were super happy to chat with me. And that brings up another point. If you ever do see me out there riding around on scooters, do stop and say hello. I always love to say hello to everybody. So let's get this unpackaged. And one other thing, I've hurt myself. I happen to have ruptured my Achilles. Not completely, just enough that it's making me hobble around, which means actually this is gonna come in real handy because it's supposed to be really light and really good for riding around the city, which is something I can absolutely do. Walking is really painful, so scooter is the way to go. Oh, and thank you to all the recommendations. I had an electrician the other day recommend these for cutting these. Branding on the styrofoam, one enormous quick setup guide, one Apollo Go branded charging brick, 2 amp hours, one Apollo Go user manual, and a toolkit. On the flip side of the message from our CEO, there's even a checklist where it looks like Tom went through every single part of the cosmetic and the function, checking this out before it arrived to me. Thumbs up. So next up, I'm gonna take it up for a full review coming up now. As promised, here I am outside with the Apollo Go. The unboxing was super simple, just 6 little screws and was up and running. Before I even get started with what I like and what I don't like and doing the full review here, I did wanna share with you one thing. Why do I make these videos?
Okay. Story time.
A long time ago, actually during COVID, I found I really liked the idea of getting an electric scooter. I went online to try and figure out which kind of electric scooter I would like to ride. And the bottom line was, I found loads of reviews and some awesome reviews. But sadly, they were reviews with skinny little California guys out there riding around. And I'm not a skinny little California guy. I am a West Coast guy. I love riding around with the beautiful ocean behind me here. But I'm a bigger guy and I wanted to find out what would work for me. So if this is something that appeals to you, for example, you're maybe a bigger rider yourself and you want to find out if electric scooters or e-bikes and microelectric in general work for you, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Anywho, getting started. The Apollo Go. I wasn't really sure about this. I was delighted that Apollo sent it to me, but I've been riding around for the last few days. I'm blown away by this thing. I was so excited to actually make this video because right after the unboxing, I was like, oh, it's light. It's kind of cute looking. The light's really nice. What's it actually gonna be like to ride? Is it gonna have the power to get me up and down some of the hills? And I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. I've got a couple of surprises as well.
Oh, surprise.
Hi.
Coming up, and I'm gonna show you some of that. But let me just get you started with the basics for now.
Dazzle them with the basics.
It's got twin 350 watt motors, a 15 amp hour, 36 volt battery system, so a smaller, lightweight design. The motors peak out at 750 watts each, so it peaks out at 1500 watts, which really does help, especially if you're going up some of the hills. What I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna ride around. I've got the awesome Eric behind the camera. I'm probably gonna invite him to ride around as well. And then I'm gonna share with you what I like and what I don't like about the Apollo Go. So what I'm really liking so far is the suspension. It's got a single suspension at the front, dual suspension with a rubber block at the back, and it just, like, that was kind of crazy when I was just riding across that field. But for just the regular bumps, taking out all the bumps in the sidewalks, going off the occasional curb, no problems whatsoever. Next up, I want to show you the actual folding mechanism. This thing is quite cute. It's got a little safety piece of rubber here that you can put on or off if you want to. Lift the latch. Safety lock down here, and it goes down. At the back here, there's a little piece that's held on with a magnet, which is kind of professional, I like. And it just slots into the deck, and about 44 pounds, I think it weighs. So, but it feels solid. And then to release it, I think they've taken a little note out of New, the electric scooter New company, because they've got a little push button here. Push the button and lock it back into place. And then put the extra safety guard on as well, like so. I'm not sure you need the rubber piece, but gives you a little bit of peace of mind. So suspension, love it. Folding mechanism, lightweight, super portable. And when it is folded up, it's not gonna fall apart. It feels like it's just gonna stay all connected until you press that little button. Next up, I wanna talk a little bit about the lighting. Oh, it's a bit chilly.
It's just a bit chilly.
I'm glad I'm wearing extra layers today. The lighting though, the lighting is extraordinary. I have to say, possibly one of the best lighting systems I've seen on an electric scooter in a while. Because at nighttime, this just makes it feel like you're so safe riding around, cars can see you. I just think this little extra addition to the Apollo Go, I'm really hoping other manufacturers start to do the same thing, because love that. There is a light up here as well, which is controlled with just pressing the button on the dash here. It's also got indicators, and it's also indicating at the back as well, which is kind of nice. I also love the fact that the indicators auto shut off. I just think that's awesome. There's nothing more irritating than having to look down to make sure that you're doing it. The position of the indicators is super simple. Even with gloves on, I can find them no problems whatsoever. And I really think that the lighting on this, the brakes at the back, it just all works out beautifully. Absolutely love the lighting on the Apollo Go. While we're here in the cockpit, we've got the regen braking. Apollo have absolutely mastered this, because within the app you can adjust everything. You can adjust how much power you want in the regen, and within the app you can also adjust the different levels here and the amount of speed that you want for each level. We've got an integrated bell. We have a mechanical brake here. And of course, as I mentioned, regen braking throughout. So the braking is fantastic. It also has a quad lock on here. So if you wanted to add the quad lock system, so you can add your cell phone to the back, you're gonna get an extra display for your ride. So if you're following a map, if you're doing deliveries, that kind of thing, the quad lock would be really nice and secure way to carry around your cell phone.
Eagles. They will soar on wings like eagles.
Eric just pointed out something to me which was absolutely really obvious. As soon as he said it, I'm like, oh my gosh, let me share that with you. And that is this. It is a narrower handlebars, which makes it perfect or ideal for folding up and popping into the trunk of your car. But because it's narrower, there's less space, less real estate on the handlebars to actually mount things. But because of this little quad lock, you can actually mount your cell phone on here, which is typically what you'd want to mount anyway. Or if you were going to mount a light, well, you really don't need to. I mean, these lights are absolutely amazing. And if you'd like to help the channel, it would be amazing if you could just click that little like button, or even better, subscribe to the channel. I noticed that 96% of viewers aren't even subscribed. And also, if you can write a little comment down below about what you like and what you didn't like, about which scooter you're riding, which scooter you're looking at purchasing, or ideas about future videos, I would love that interaction. So thanks so much. Again, hit that like, hit subscribe. Thanks. We're here in Oak Bay with Eric at Demitas. Are we at Demitas?
Demitas, yes.
Yeah, it's called Demitas. Got myself a little treat, got myself a nice cup of tea. I'm gonna share with you what I like and what I don't like about the Apollo Go. And I'm gonna interrogate Eric at the same time. So kind of a twofer in Canada we call it. So the twofer is this. I am blown away by this scooter. I absolutely love it. It's so smooth. It's so reminiscent of the Apollo City. Dual motor, not quite as much power, not quite as much range, but really smooth. The lighting is even better than the one version I have at the Apollo City. Indicators. Was there anything I didn't like about it? I'm like looking at it right now to try and remind myself that there's something I didn't like about it.
Remember you mentioned one thing, it was just a little thing.
What was that?
I don't remember what it is now. And I'd be hard pressed to.
Well, let's go through what I do like. The brakes are great, plenty of power, Love the lighting, love that it has indicators, love the regen braking. The folding mechanism's a little bit odd to me, but it works. I love the fact that it's got a quick release button as well, and it feels really secure. It's not super heavy, like it's only 44 pounds. It got that narrow sort of cockpit, so you can fold it up and pop it in the trunk of a car. Really smooth over the bumps. The suspension was terrific, and I just absolutely loved it. Huge 2 thumbs up. I think this might be one of my favorite scooters of the year. Like, it's that good. I'm really tickled by it. Yeah, I can't think of anything negative at all. Oh, I know what it is. There was one little tiny little negative, and that was the brakes.
Yeah.
Because you regen, the regen is on the left thumb. The brake is also on the left side. So now typically 99% of all braking, I use my regen. But if it was an emergency situation, I would want to be able to do the regen with my left hand and have an actual manual brake on the right. So the only thing I would say with the Apollo Go is, if it was possible to, and you know what, I'm gonna guess that Aloha the engineer at Apollo has already thought this all through, and he's probably shaking his head saying, no, Tim, you're wrong, this is better. But I personally would want to have the brake on the right-hand side and the regen on the left, because then it would make me feel like I'm getting both, and then I can guard, that one through. But what are your thoughts? Eric, I've got you here, and you get to speak too.
The brake lever activates regen as well, so it's regen plus the drum brake. So you don't need both.
Oh,
right? Maybe
see.
that's the thinking, and maybe they're thinking, if it came to a situation where you really needed the power of both mechanical brake and electronic brake, you just want to not even go for the regen. You just want to go for that. They're forcing your hand, basically.
One way or the other. That's awesome. Overall, though, I mean, you picked up on some design elements that we were talking about off camera. Do share them, because I thought they were really interesting.
Yeah, my impression can be summed up in that it's got an almost perfect set of specs for someone, and this includes me, and actually someone, if I was going to buy a scooter right now in December 2024, I believe this would be it, because I'm looking for something that it's a commuter scooter, got lots of portability, because I like to have the option to
chuck it in your car,
chuck it in my car very quickly, cleanly. Yep. And I don't need oodles of range. It's appreciated. It's lovely when you have it, but I don't mind. I don't take super long rides. I want to zip out, do my errand, come back, do that a few times, and if I have to then charge it up, that's no problem.
Big deal. Yeah. No big deal at all, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so, you're not doing 100 kilometers or anything like that, and that's not what it's designed for. But you also mentioned about the colors.
Well, I was talking about the one thing I really appreciate with this one, and Apollo in general these days, is they've created this new design language that no other scooter brand I've seen has even come close to. Possible exceptions are, we talked about, New has done a very good job. They have, they're also very sleek. To some degree, some of the segues, although they're a little too, I don't know what the right word is.
There's no consistency across the brand.
Exactly.
But
not a lot of consistency.
If I look at a Phantom, if I look at a City, if I look at the Go, orange.
It's the dark gray and the orange together.
Perfect.
Is their color scheme, the minimalist look, the sleekness, the way they integrate lighting, the way they use lighting in creative ways, such as the bar on the front, as opposed to just the
I love that bar.
strips on the deck.
Riding that at night has changed, because I was not riding in the evenings anymore, because I was like, I am just not showing up at night. And I rode this the other day and I went, oh, all of a sudden, because, short days in Canada,
right,
in the wintertime, short days, long nights, it's 5 o'clock at night and it's dark, and I was able to just hop on that scooter and ride safely, and I knew the cars could see me.
I'd imagine it's not just a beam in front of you where you're looking, it's a glow,
It's
right?
a glow around you.
So
it's astonishing.
Things that, you don't have to, point the handlebars to see what's over there.
No, you show right up on their screen, no problem whatsoever. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So, my impressions are it's a perfect mix of specs, and the thing is absolutely gorgeous.
Well, so
it's a work of art.
It is a beautiful, beautiful
I've got
scooter.
to really give it to Apollo that they are innovating not only in the technology, heavy in the technology and the mechanics, but they don't ignore the aesthetics. Which, and actually, most importantly, I should put this because my background is in computer sciences and computer-human interaction. So I'm someone that always appreciates good user interfaces and user experience. The ergonomics on Apollo is light years ahead of anyone else.
It's astonishing.
That
really is that good.
I definitely appreciate, but I think most people appreciate when things just naturally work intuitively and they work well.
I think so. Hats off to Apollo on this one. I think they've knocked it out of the park. And even smaller things I noticed, like the mud guards are longer and are going to cover, so you're not going to get rooster tail of dirt up your backside. Apollo have knocked it out of the park here, and I don't want to start sounding like a bunch of fanboys over it. I had no idea how good this was going to be, and I'm pleasantly surprised.
Oh, surprise, surprise, surprise.
Hi.
Not surprised. I'm just pleasantly happy that it's as good as I thought as it is. So
it's getting difficult not to be a fanboy from what Apollo's doing. They're really knocking it out of the park.
Every year they just make incremental adjustments, and they're listening to their audience, and they're making things good. So,
and by the way, we're not saying this because they're Canadian and we're Canadian. That's
no, they are.
Effect.
No, they're on the other side of Canada, in Montreal, La Belle Provence, and absolutely. So 2 thumbs up from this guy. The Hill of Death. My next step is to, I'm going to leave the scooter at Eric's, and he's going to ride it around for the next few days and try it out, I hope. And maybe we'll do a follow-up short video and share with the audience what you liked and what you didn't like about the Apollo Go. Sound like fun?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
Cheers. Big guy approved.